Today's short read is from Book 2 of the Storytelling series for small businesses and content creators. The book is titled Win Heart and Mind and Get Results with the 5 Essential Elements of Storytelling, and it's available on Amazon if you want to get a copy for yourself and read along. We are in chapter 4 of the book, and it's created to help you understand all you need to know about conflict in storytelling, from what is conflict, type of conflicts, and how to create conflict in your story. All these are essential to create powerful stories people can resonate with. Now, the reading. And before we start the reading, I just want to clear out that it is important that you learn how to tap into the power of storytelling, because it is essential for the survival of your business, and it's also very important for you if you want to build your personality, your brand, who you are, and what you represent in the community. Now, here are what we are going to cover in this video. What is conflict in storytelling? 5 important conflicts in storytelling, and how to leverage conflict in your messages as a small business owner. Now, this is very important for you if you want to really build a brand and stand out from the noise out there. I usually say noise out there because there is really a lot of noise in the marketplace. So for you to be able to stand out in the competition, you are going to have a unique story, something that separates you from the crowd out there of the Me Too type of content that is flying everywhere and there, left, right, and center. So storytelling is going to be very important for you in this case. So you are going to learn how to use story to engage your audience and build your brand. Now, what is conflict in storytelling? Well, in storytelling, a conflict is when an external or internal struggle creates the starting point for a story. For example, in a superhero movie, the main character might have to battle an evil villain or stop the world from being taken over by aliens with power. In the world of Ronald Reagan, the 40th President of the United States, peace is not the absence of conflict. It is the ability to handle conflict by peaceful means. Now, I want you to take a moment to reflect on that. Whether you are in a family, you are in a meeting with other people, which is sort of in a social gathering, or you are in your workplace, or in a political arena, or even in business where you have to deal with other people, you cannot always have it on a smooth ride all the time. From time to time, you have conflict. So I really want you to take some time to reflect on what Ronald Reagan said there, because I think it is very important for you. While the quote above can be referring to a political situation, it works the same way in literary work. A writer uses conflict as a way to tell their story and keep their audience engaged throughout the narration. Now, here are 5 important conflicts in storytelling, and I will advise that you pay attention to every one of them. Conflict is what drives the plot of a story, as it provides the problem or obstacle that the character must overcome. Without conflict, there is no story. It creates tension and suspense. Using elements of conflict help to create tension and suspense in a story, and this makes the reader wonder how the character will overcome the problem or obstacle they are facing. It helps to develop characters. Conflict helps to develop the character in a story, as they must deal with and overcome challenges that test their ability and their true nature. It adds depth and complexity to the story. The correct use of conflict adds depth and complexity to a story, as it forces the character to make difficult decisions and face tough consequences. Now, there are 3 main common types of conflict to choose from in your storytelling, and they are person versus person, persons versus nature, and persons versus self. Person versus person is when another character or multiple characters obstruct the goal of the main character. In person versus person conflict, one opponent will try to defeat the other by using words of brute force. Conflict may take many forms. It can be emotional or physical, such as when 2 people get into an argument. Now, here are 3 examples of person versus person conflict in popular movies. Batman 2008. Batman, played by Christian Bale versus the Joker, The conflict is a battle of ideology between Batman, who represents law and order, and the Joker, who represents chaos and anarchy. The Godfather, 1972. Michael Corleone versus Solonzo. This conflict is a struggle for power and control over the organized crime syndicate in New York City. Die Hard, 1988. John McClane, Bruce Willis versus Hans Gruber and his gang of thieves. The conflict is a classic action thriller in which McClane, a police officer, must dismantle and defeat the terrorists who have taken over Los Angeles skyscraper. Now my advice for you is to try and rewatch each of these films for a better appreciation of what we are here talking about. Person versus nature. Person versus nature is a conflict between characters and nature. Yes, this happens sometimes. Characters need to face challenges in the natural world, such as animals are diseases that are beyond their control, and they need to face the opposite power of nature. One of the most basic themes in literature is that of human versus nature, as evident in such survival stories as Robinson Crusoe, The Jungle Book, and many more. The story of Crusoe, for example, shows how a harmonious relationship with nature can develop under certain circumstances. Nature's ever-changing approach helped shape Robinson Crusoe's psychology, and in the end, he became more sensible and humbler than before. Here are 5 effective ways to create person versus nature conflict in your storytelling. Natural disaster. Use natural disaster like hurricane, earthquake, wildfire, flood, or tornadoes to create conflict. The protagonist may be on the path of disaster and need to fight for survival. Wilderness survival. Place your protagonist in a wilderness setting where they must survive with limited resources. This could be a desert, jungle, or mountain range. Animal attacks. Use animal attack like bear, wolf, or shark to create a sense of danger and fear. Show the protagonist's need to defend themselves against the animal or find a way to escape. Environmental issue. Create conflict around environmental issues like pollution, global warming, or deforestation. The protagonist may be fighting to save a species or habitat. Man-made disaster. Use man-made disaster like oil spill, nuclear accident, or chemical leak to create conflict. Here, the protagonist might be trying to contain the damage or find a solution to the problem. These are just a few examples of how you can create a person versus nature conflict in your story. Remember to use vivid description and sensory detail to immerse your reader into the conflict and make it feel real. As it often turns out, characters face challenges of nature that they cannot control, and they have to either solve or overcome these obstacles to survive or restore order to their world. In whichever way you choose to present this type of conflict, the audience needs to see your character facing resistance from the forces of nature, and whatever you do to the consequence is yours to explain as part of your storytelling. Person versus self. This type of conflict is often known as man versus self conflict, and it's a type of conflict that takes place in the mind of the character. In a person versus self type of conflict, the character might be conflicted with their feeling and have opposing goals. This can be done by simultaneously putting 2 contradictory goals in the protagonist's head, which forces him or her to choose between 2 choices, each with pros and cons. When a story is focused on the protagonist's development in a person versus self type of conflict, they face an obstacle or problem that need to be overcome. This problem might stem from the past, and what they need is often explored through the narrative. Whether in person versus self conflict or any other type of conflict, you need to understand that conflict is an essential component of any story. It provides the tension that drives the narrative forward and brings about a deeper meaning in the story. It also reveals the character motivation and value throughout the story. Now, how do you apply this knowledge as a business owner who want to attract your audience, or maybe as a leader of an organization who want to build your influence? As a small business owner or a leader of an organization, It is important to correctly leverage conflict to create opportunity for growth and success. Here are some tips on how to effectively do so. Embrace conflict as a natural path of growth. Conflict are a natural part of any business or organization, and they can actually be a positive force for growth and development. Imagine that you are living in an environment, or maybe you are working in a place, or maybe you are in business. There is no way you are going to have it all on a smooth ride. Sometimes there are conflicts. Some of those conflicts actually help you understand what is going on within the organization, so that maybe what the people might not be able to tell you during conflict, they might express it. And if you are the one who is sensible enough now to understand the feeling of those individuals which are also part of the organization, then you might work towards resolving those unsaid concerns that they have as member of the team. So conflict in this sense can be useful to grow the organization. Use conflict to identify area for improvement. Conflict can often highlight area where your business or organization can improve upon. Use conflict, therefore, as an opportunity to identify this area and work together to develop solutions. Conflict helps foster culture of collaboration. Encourage your team member to work together and find solutions to conflict. Foster a culture of collaboration and encourage team members to brainstorm ideas and work together to find creative solutions. Learn from conflict. Use conflict as an opportunity to learn and grow. After a conflict has been resolved, take the time to reflect on what you have learned and how you can apply these lessons to future situations. By leveraging conflict as a small business owner or a leader of an organization, you can create a more collaborative and productive environment.